Hey everyone, it's Clint. Time for another video. I want to get in. This is seriously my third attempt at making this video because I keep imagining all the people that I'm going to be making upset by making it. So I'm just going to do it. I'm going to be honest, and I hope that everyone understands I'm just giving my perspective. If you're mad at me about it, I guess just make a comment, but I have no ill will to anybody. I'm just expressing my opinion. Before we get into it, let me let you know that Ethan Van Sciver's Cyberfrog 2 Wrecked Planet just got extended for another 30 days, and he's already passed the dollar total that he got on the first campaign. This is just astounding. It's amazing. He also passed Icarus in the Sun, which was the campaign that had passed his original Cyberfrog campaign last year. And so congratulations to Ethan. If you haven't backed Cyberfrog Wrecked Planet, I'm going to stick a link in the description below. Do check it out. I think he's doing a cool thing, and I'm excited to get the book. All right, so let me get into this. First, just quick disclaimer. I'm going to be addressing the topic that Solve for X brought up with me on Twitter. I am not addressing Solve for X directly. I'm not prescribing his opinion. That is not my goal. This is not a response video to his position. It's just on the topic that he brought up because it's an interesting topic. I have my opinions on the topic, so I don't want it to be what I say to be conflated with anything that Solve for X has said. I'm just addressing the topic because I thought he had it was just an interesting topic. I'm looking at it from, I think, an entirely different angle. So I'm just going to address things that have happened from my experience. Okay, so now that we have that out of the way, there's a few different things that I feel like we should address. First is the idea of a platform and what a platform is. Second is a network, what a network is and what it should or should not mean. And three is community and what that should or should not mean. And maybe I could add a fourth one in, and that is a movement. So I'm going to be specifically talking about Comicsgate here. Comicsgate, if you're unaware, it started out as a movement. It was a reaction against mainstream comics because of political reasons, pushing politics in comics. And then also, I think in addition to that, it's how the industry and comics professionals treated customers when they pushed back or had problems with this obvious political pandering and in some cases outright propaganda in comics. Okay, so that's Comicsgate, the movement. Now, I've always maintained that I think movements run out of steam and they go away. Don't conflate that with a network or a community or a platform or a company. There are other more stable kinds of organizations that can last for a very long time. Now, I believe that the movement part of Comicsgate has already dissipated. That is my opinion. As a political reaction, I think it's over. Now, what do you have left? You have a network that has been known to do some really amazing things, especially in crowdfunding and in YouTube, and is in fact the envy of the rest of the comic book industry, let's be honest. You also have a community that surrounds that network, and again, like this, I think the community is important for the network to exist because, I mean, that's people are interested in and doing fan art and all sorts of fun things that exist around that network. And then you have individual platforms that work within that network. Lots and lots of definitions, I know. So first off, a little channel history. I'm not going to speak to anyone else. I'm just speaking from my perspective because that's what I know. Okay. So when I first started my YouTube channel, I was not expecting to be doing comic book videos. I wanted to start a YouTube channel because I wanted to earn a little bit of extra money, and I wanted to just participate in general discussion that was going around. So I was trying to decide if I wanted to do a comics YouTube channel that was going to be sort of light and fun. I always liked the Access PlayStation YouTube channel. They did the Friday features that I thought were really entertaining. And I thought about doing something kind of that route, or I wanted to do politics. So I decided to do politics because I thought it'd just be easier, and perhaps I would be able to just offer more of an opinion there. I don't know why, but I started Sweetcast because I wanted to make political videos, and I made for my first several videos, probably 10 videos, I made them on political topics, cultural topics, but not comics. And then I discovered Comicsgate. My understanding, this is what I think most people will tell you, is that Comicsgate, it's a movement, and it was created, or it's a reaction basically against, exactly as I explained before, political stuff that's in comics and the reaction of the industry when fans had problems with those political messages in comics. I was so interested because I thought, hey, I've had these same complaints too. It's amazing to me that there are like-minded people that also feel ostracized from, the industry, and from even just as being a reader. So it was cool. It just felt like a place that I fit right in. And so based off of that premise, I started really getting into it. And to me, it was perfect because it was both comics and it was politics at the same time. And I could talk about both things and give my honest perspective. And, that I just went away. And here I am today, still doing the same kinds of things, just minor variations, but the same kinds of videos, same kind of video content. All right, so fast forward to today. It's interesting because things have evolved and they always evolve. There's still an extremely strong network, and there are some very strong platforms and, at varying sizes. And then there's also a thriving community with all sorts of people, comic fans, comic creators. Now, the way that I view it, the network itself, I participate in the network. I think I'm a strong member of the network because I have a platform. I try to promote other YouTube channels and more so other crowdfunding campaigns, other creators. I promote them and I want people to do well. Now, the reason I do that is not because I owe anybody anything. I want to make that clear. I owe people that have purchased my book. I owe them a book, and I owe them good customer service. Beyond that, you don't get the keys to my home. There's any number of things that I don't owe you. And I think this is common sense, and most people agree on that. The problem that I've been seeing spring up more recently is that if you own a platform, you owe the network or you owe the community your platform, or they own a stake in your community or in your platform. Now, that's not true. As far as the government is concerned, I own Sweetcast. I own the channel. I'm the one that puts all the effort into making the videos here and to building the channel. And if I stopped, nobody would step up in my place and make sure that this as a platform still exists. It is entirely upon my shoulders to make sure that it exists. Now, do I benefit from the network? Absolutely, I do. And that is why I think it's in my best interest to help other people and to grow their channels and to network and to be kind to people and, try to make it a positive experience. It's in my best interest. It's in your best interest. And that to me that's the ideal. That is how I want things to be going forward. Now, on a few occasions, there have been extreme situations where people have demanded to be on my channel or demanded or suggested even that they owned a portion of the channel, that they had a stake in it by virtue of saying Comicsgate. I think it's so much more beyond that. That's just not true. I own the channel, and anybody else owns their own platform. However, you interact in the network because it's just good for you. It's good for everybody. Why not? So I think that you're wrong if you believe that you are owed anything or that you deserve someone's platform. In fact, I think you're going to get the opposite of what you want. If you want to be on a platform, be kind. You're going to get more flies with honey. Yeah, you got to be persistent sometimes, but if you don't get your way, it's okay. I know, like I've got kids, I've got a wife, I've got a mortgage, I've got other things to do. I can't stream all the time. I think most people get that. So I don't owe anybody anything unless you've bought my book. And I don't think anybody that has ever promoted me or my book thinks that I owe them anything as well, right? I think that it's a mutual agreement all the way around. All right, so the way that I think networks work the best is when everybody's doing it voluntarily. I've already explained why I think it's a good idea. But if If somebody wants to get promoted by other people and they don't want to promote in return, I've had many people that I've promoted that have never said anything. And even sometimes, and again, the minority of cases, they end up hating me afterward for one reason or another. I'm usually not sure. It's kind of a surprise to me. They don't like me for some reason. And all I can do is just shrug my shoulders and move on. That's the best route to go. It's best for me. It's best for everybody involved. Nobody owes me anything. They don't owe me a thing. Now, something entirely different would be the moment that somebody makes a business or a company, an official organization that I can join and sign paperwork, I can be onboarded, I can agree to some terms, and I can be part of a company. I'm kind of thinking kind of like Image Comics, but if something like that were to happen, I would personally be interested. I really would. And in that case, I'd have some specific agreements that I could agree to, and it'd be between me and whoever else is on the other side of that contract. It's not something that can be fluid and that people can move in and out of, and basically where I get anonymous people deciding the terms of my contract. I think everyone deserves some level of respect for sure, but being able to just randomly join an online network or community and then get to determine terms of a contract for somebody else, that is not a world that I want to live in, or one that I chose to live in. So I reject that notion, reject that idea fully, and I think it'd be best to reevaluate your position if you think that should be the case. All right, so I think I made it through. In a nutshell, my point is platforms are owned by the people that own them. There shouldn't be any dispute on who owns a platform or not. And if there is, maybe it needs to become a legal matter. Personally, I own my YouTube channel, Sweetcast. I own it myself. I decide who comes on it and who doesn't come on it. I've said this many times. I'll just reiterate it. Next thing is a network. I think a network in this instance, if we're talking about Comicsgate, it's a voluntary thing. People come and go, and that's just fine. People should be able to come and go all they want. Obviously, everyone can have an opinion on that. It doesn't matter. My opinion is I don't care. I don't care. I have no time to be deciding who's what, where they are, and checking papers or anything like that. It's not something I'm interested in doing. But a network is a good idea, and it's in everyone's best interest to be cross-promoting, because you're going to grow from it and others will grow from it. And that's why I try to promote other people's books, because in the long run, it helps me, generally speaking. Overall, it's good for me. And last but not least is a community. I've kind of evolved on this, on where I engage in the community. The way I view a community is it's the fans, it's the people that are watching the videos, commenting, doing fan art. Maybe they have dreams and they're aspiring comic book creators, or maybe they are creators. My role in this before was being a YouTube creator and obviously a fan. I was reading comic books and backing these projects, and I still do that kind of stuff. But I realized that people now view me a little bit differently because I've got 2 very successful crowdfunding campaigns under my belt. And so I've tried to back off of the community side a little bit and allow community to just be active. I don't want to interfere in it. I want people to have opinions and speak their mind. And, if they want to hate me or hate whoever they want, that's fine. You do your thing, because I realize that I'm kind of, a different facet of the community. So that's the way that I view things. Feel free to disagree. But if you've ever wondered why I try and act the way that I do, it's because this is the way that I view it all. So having said that, just let me know your thoughts. If you haven't backed Downcast, Rise or Fall yet, we passed 34,000, which has been amazing. You can check that out in the link in the description below as well. And yeah, check out Cyberfrog Wrecked Planet, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.